We are right on time. That's amazing for this show. Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by A.G. Hines Company. Construction goes on, and the company with the best building materials in East Tennessee goes on. A.G. Hines Company, been there for 100 years, and right now they're offering curbside service. You can check out their website. You can call. You can talk to them. Say, here's what I need. You drive up. They come out with gloves and masks. Put it in your hand, put it in your car, put it in your hand, wherever you want it. But they are big into the social distancing. They're being smart, very smart about this. You don't even have to sign anything. You go in and you don't touch anything when you make a payment. A.G. Hines Company, a real community leader, and they have been for a century. Can't say that about many folks. All right. Can't say, well, Chuck, you're closing in. Community leader for a century. With your day in the rotation, as I mentioned, there's some gambling, there's some golf in the news. I thought I would bring this up with you. We got some UT football money coming up. You want to stick for that. But let's talk, first of all, I heard a story this week. You know, the NFL is going on with their draft.
Right.
But it's not going to be in Las Vegas. It's going to be virtual, and they're telling teams to do it from their homes, and it's going to be kind of weird. That said, I heard a bookie, a guy that makes some of the books out in Las Vegas. He makes some of the lines out in Las Vegas. He said there are going to be more prop bets on this year's draft than anything ever before, because they haven't been able to get people to gamble on anything. So they're trying to make that money back. As a degenerate gambler, would you be interested in is that a fix for some people out there or no?
Of course it is. I mean, right now, one of the major online gambling sites is betting on giving wagers on what the temperature is going to be in different cities. I won $100 on Louisville over 60 degrees the other day. So, I mean, but I'm serious. That's the way it is.
Underline degenerate.
Underline degenerate. I mean, there was even like $400 million returned just on the NCAA men's basketball tournament after it was canceled. There's already $400 million. So the prop bets, there's a lot of them out of there. There's not much after the first two overall. You know, people think it's going to be Joe Burrow going to be first, and then Chase Young second. Mm-hmm. But then it really gets interesting on the prop bets. Some of them are limited to like $500. Some of them are like, the baseball odds, where 100, to either win 180 or something.
It's going to be stuff like how many players in the first round from the SEC? How
that's
many people
15,
from the ACC?
That's 15 and a half. Okay. It's interesting, Alabama. You can get Alabama against LSU, who has the most players. Both those are 5.5. I've got Alabama already. The SEC, 15 and a half. The Big Ten is only 5.5 total. So, I mean, it's really interesting. A lot of it is based on the first round and in the first position player taken, the quarterbacks, maybe even the order there. So, I mean, it's some good stuff. April 23rd.
Well, let me tell you, more good stuff. I thought this was brilliant. You're talking about made-for-TV events, and there was first the talk about why not Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson do another duel like they did a few years ago on pay-per-view. And Mickelson said, we're working on something. Then the word leaked out that it was going to be, and this is the brilliant part of it, let's get a couple of other megastars from other sports. Peyton Manning and Tiger Woods versus Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady in a four-person golf match. If they've all been tested and they just go out and you can stay 6 feet from each other as you play.
Exactly.
And it's not going to be a pay-per-view thing, apparently. It's going to be I think it's great. I think it's brilliant.
I do too. And this is, November of 2018. Mickelson played Tiger. It's supposed to have been a $9 million winner-take-all. I heard they basically split most of that. But, it's basically going on that. I have now heard that they're looking at a course in Florida. It'll be on TNT Sports.
Sources say.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would love to see them play at TPC Sawgrass. A lot of this is going to, and I heard they're going to announce it for May. I would think, I thought even about Pebble Beach would be a great course. But, it's in the works. And Tom Brady had a real good quote. Tom Brady said, well, Peyton Manning is the better golfer right now, but in the past few years, he had more time to play.
It's interesting. I don't know how many people saw this, but there's a coach. The Brady Manning thing is very interesting. Manning dropped in virtually in a quarterback meeting this week at UT, so he's been in the news. But it came out, Brady has left the Patriots to go to the Buccaneers. And one of the coaches of the Buccaneers used to be at the Colts, so he knew Peyton Manning there. And they were talking to Clyde Christensen about talking to Brady. He said, well, we couldn't talk before he signed, of course. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. He said, but I might have talked to Peyton, and I don't know what Peyton told Tom. And he also pointed out that he had 12 pages of notes from about a decade ago when Tom Brady came down to Manning's place on the lake in Chattanooga. And they spent about a week together just talking football philosophy. And this guy has had these notes for all that years. When he finally met Brady, he said, Peyton told me what you think. But the interesting thing is, Patriots fans and folks in Boston hate Manning. All the Colts and any Manning fan hates Brady because basically they're the only two that could beat each other. And yet they're pretty good friends.
Oh, yeah.
That's the irony of it is, and if you saw the Jim Nantz thing that they did playing golf on the Peyton's place, it's really good, one of his best.
It's like the Jim Nantz has this huge estate right there near Pebble Beach, and he also has a replica of the par 3 7th hole that they were playing. That was really cool.
Yeah, and they were chipping off his house, off his roof. Yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. The Manning-Brady thing, people may be thinking, why are those two? They're actually pretty good buddies.
And negotiations are ongoing, and you know, so it's a moving target a lot.
I'm guessing charity's going to be involved.
The proceeds are supposed to go to people who have been directly impacted by COVID-19.
I think it's great. I think that's the kind of stuff, you know, when we talk about an SEC-only schedule, or when we talk about 2-on-2, or now ESPN's doing video game tournaments, a horse, I think that's what we're going to be looking at. And if that works, you know, there are other golfers. I mean, obviously Tiger and Phil Mickelson are the two biggies, but there are other guys. You could go do another foursome somewhere else if that works. So.
And my only request would be don't let Charles Barkley anywhere near them.
Oh, come on. All right, very good. Speaking of degenerate gamblers. All right. Well, first of all, before we go to break, let me tell you this. Tennessee Urology, all right, another one of our fine sponsors. They are currently seeing emergency and urgent care patients only in their facility, emergency and urgent care patients only. However, you can visit their website for more information about telehealth video conferencing visits. So they will visit with you virtually. Visit tnurology.com, tnurology.com. Those are the folks that helped save my life a few years ago. More importantly, they helped save my father's life. Tennessee Urology. All right, UT is adjusting some ticket plans. That's a good thing. But could Jeremy Pruitt face a pay cut? He was asked about that this week. We'll talk money next. Where do you see these numbers? Come on back.